So, today, what we're going to do is rank. We're not going to rank all of them. I'm just using a template that has all the plants in it. Well, not even all the plants. I just
We're
guess.
ranking all of them bought by gems.
Yeah, so these ones.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess let's just get right into it, right?
Isn't Chomper bought by gems?
No. They expect you to pay money for Chomper.
Oh, that's cringe.
It's ridiculous.
Chomper's not even that good of a plant, though.
I know. It's so stupid. Okay, Squash.
So what's the sun cost?
He costs 50 sun. Now you might think Squash is just a more boring potato mine that doesn't require arming. And while that may be initially true, I mean, that was what his use in the first game was. But here's the thing about the Squash in PvZ2 with the plant upgrading system. If you upgrade him, he can squash multiple times.
It's kind of broken, but we should go just off of base plants.
I mean, upgrades can severely help a plant, but we should mostly judge it on its initial use.
Honestly,
Squash should be higher than it would normally be because of the
C.
upgrading. C.
Yeah.
Besides having an instant kill plant that you use multiple times, you're mostly just going to use that on really powerful zombies. On normal ones, it's kind of wasted, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard to it's hard to get Squash to jump where you want it to anyway. So yeah, I think C is probably.
It's not bad, but it's not good. So C.
Like it's good. It's really good for specific situations, but in general, it's okay. Jalapeno.
B.
Yeah, so, I mean, as far as plants that can instant kill go, killing an entire lane, while that may initially seem like it's broken, it actually isn't. Because the thing with Jalapeno is, he costs a lot of, well, not that much sun for an instant kill plant, but he has a really, really slow recharge, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just honestly a really good plan because, like, it makes an entire lane burst into fire. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Just I think it's outclassed because why would you destroy an entire lane? You could destroy an area, and if the zombies come in waves, destroying an area usually destroys most of the zombies in 3 lanes. You know?
Yeah, well, we're still mostly just going off of the paid or the gem plants. So I think it's B.
Yeah, no, I think it's B. It's good, but it's not like super good.
Okay, what's
next? Speaking of super good though, this is a really good one.
Never used Ghost Pepper.
Did you unlock it?
No.
Okay, well I guess I'll explain what it does. So it haunts the zombies in an area, okay? And it does massive damage in that area, and then it explodes after a certain amount of time. That's it. That's all it does. It's really powerful, essentially.
Yeah, that seems pretty broken. I'd say A or S.
It's either high A or low S. I'm probably I'm gonna give it an S.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best plants in the entire game anyway.
Okay, what is next? Big yam.
Sweet potato.
Trash. Absolute trash.
It's better than garlic, but either way, lane diversion isn't really a useful thing to begin with.
It's more of like, wow, okay. You know.
Oh boy, if I pay 150 sun for sweet potato, I can avoid placing 2 pea shooters in this one lane.
And then you're gonna have to put the 2 pea shooters there anyway, because sweet potato will normally get eaten.
Exactly. Really the only upside to sweet potato is that unlocking it costs 50 gems instead of 100, but I guess that's just because they realized how nobody actually would want to.
Yeah, I'd say it's either D or F. It's pretty trash.
I'm gonna put it in D for now because I don't think it's necessarily the worst, but we can put it in F if we can't find anything worse than it.
Yeah. Let's see what's next.
Oh, okay. This is probably an F. Sapling.
What does Sapling do?
He costs 100 sun. He takes up a tile. and so he shoots at zombies and slows them down. He only slows down zombies on the ground because of sap. Placing multiple saplings in one area does not make their thing. It doesn't. His sap does not stack with any other stalling effects. It doesn't even stack with itself.
Wait. Does the sap do damage?
No, he doesn't even do damage. It's awful. Why would I ever want to use this? Is a novelty plant, maybe? I don't know.
Hypnoshroom.
This is probably the worst one.
What? Hypnoshroom's pretty good.
Okay, actually, you know what? His plant food is good enough to save him from an after D. The one where it turns a zombie into a Gargantar.
Yeah, no, Hypnoshroom is honestly pretty useful. Especially if you put it on a bucket head.
I would say Hypnoshroom is only useful if you give him plant food. Because normally, well, maybe it's just my strategy, but here's the thing. I prefer to use plants that can hit multiple zombies at a time, like Lightning Root or Laser Beam. I think those two are really good. And so because of that, Hypnoshroom becomes useless unless you use it with plant food. That being said, its plant food is absolutely broken, so I do think that it's useful in that regard.
Yep, I think it's C.
I think C is the right spot to put it. It's not, like, it's useless without plant food, but because the plant food is really good.
No, it's not. It's not useless without plant food. As long as you don't put it on a normal zombie, it's absolutely cracked.
I don't even see how you were saying that, but I do agree that it's in C.
Alright, next one.
Okay, this is also a really bad one.
It's not that bad.
So here's the thing. So okay, Peanut isn't actually that bad, but he's not good for anything. He's like the Bug's Life of plants.
Yeah. He's kind of just there. I'd say he's
bland. He's boring.
It's it blocks and shoots.
And you know what makes it worse? The fact that when it gets to half health, one of the peanut heads gets eaten, so it's shooting. Its fire rate is halved.
Yeah, that's above sweet potato.
Yeah, I think it's definitely better than sweet potato, but it's still not good. Homing Thistle.
My baby.
I love Homing Thistle.
He's above.
It can shoot anywhere on the board. First of all,
he's above the guy.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with Homing Thistle, okay? Having 2 or 3 of them is often enough to carry a lot of the weight of a stage. So my main suggestion when you use Homing Thistle,
get 5.
At the beginning of the level, produce as much sun as possible so that you can place 2 or 3 of them. And they will take care of a lot of the zombies for you while you get whatever your other main attacking tower is up.
You don't even need that. Only Homing Thistle all the way, baby.
I wouldn't say he's the best for crowds, but if you have a lot of him, he's in a space.
No, the only way he's good with crowds is when you use a lot of plants on him.
Yeah.
But he is genuinely cracked.
No, but he's
most
like
most
here's what I mean.
Will be like most plants are kind of like, oh well, I'm gonna shoot in front of me. Homing Thistle goes for whoever is closest. So,
exactly. So literally, one of them can cover the entire lawn.
Yeah, it's honestly really good. And especially since Homing Thistles will all aim at the exact same target, that target dies so much faster.
Exactly.
And then
which is the reason why I say it's not as good for crowds, but it's good enough when there aren't too many zombies. Which is why I say place 2 or 3 of them and then focus on placing whatever your main tower is, which for me is usually Lightning Reed, who is good at dealing with crowds.
Yeah, Lightning Reed's not good. Not super good at base, but once you upgrade him, he's cracked.
All right. No. I mean, when it comes to upgrading Lightning Reed, he's already really spammable. Whatever. He's not a gem plant, so we shouldn't discuss him right now. Hurricane, very, very good.
A.
I think he's an A as well. Like, not broken, but basically with the
he does deal damage, but
what I find funny is
broken.
Hurricane is so much better than Jalapeno, and he doesn't even do damage.
Yeah, Hurricane is once you place him down, he pushes all zombies to the very back, which is absolutely cracked.
He also slows
Is-
them down too.
Oh, really?
And he kills all flying zombies. Not all flying zombies on the board, but all flying zombies in the lane he affects.
Yeah.
So basically, what Hurricane is, honestly, I prefer using Hurricane over any defensive plan. But so basically,
Defensive plan.
as in the ones that do nothing but have high health.
No, I'm kidding. I don't use defense plans.
I prefer Hurricane. But so, essentially what Hurricane, because of the fact that he pushes every zombie in the lane back, you can basically use him as a clutch way to save you in any situation where a zombie is about to get to your house. And not only that, because of his slowing effect, he's just useful on an entire lane regardless.
Yep.
And also, once again with that, you can group zombies together and blow them up if you have like a cherry bomb or something.
Absolutely goated.
Hurricane's a Chad.
Yep. Alright, next one, pea shooter.
Fire pea shooter.
B.
Here's the thing.
Low B.
I would much rather just use a torchwood and then some repeaters.
It really just, I mean, but it saves you a bunch of tiles, so.
No, I mean, it saves you some tiles. It does double damage, but I would rather use a torchwood and several repeaters because the whole point of repeater is to save a tile too. So if I get several repeaters and then put a torchwood in front of it, then I get pretty much twice as much power as I would with the fire pea shooter. Does that make sense?
What I do is use the repeater in the middle lanes, and then put repeaters on the outside too, with torchwood in front of all of them.
That is also a very good strategy.
Absolutely cracked.
I don't know. I think fire pea shooter is good, just not broken or anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a B.
Lava Guava.
I hate Lava Guava. Not
don't
actively.
even know what it does.
But Lava Guava is ghost.
Doesn't it like cause a crash on the ground?
Yes, Lava Guava is basically a much worse ghost pepper. It only affects one tile. It dies when it does that. And it leaves a tile of lava there for a while. And here's the thing. That lava tile, while it does more damage than Ghost Pepper, it does it in a much smaller area, and it doesn't affect flying zombies, which Ghost Pepper can.
Correct.
And you can't even get rid of the lava until it goes away on its own. So what's this?
Middle B.
What's this? You need to put a Hurricane down? Well, too bad. You know?
Why did you put it in B? It's like CFO.
Yeah, you're right. C. It's better than Hypno Shroom, but it's not better than Squash.
No.
I mean, Squash can affect multiple. Squash can affect one tile, but you can do it multiple times. You know.
All right. What's next?
Shrinking Violence.
Shrinking Violence, honestly, like low B, because it can be genuinely cracked, especially when it comes to gargantuans.
Shrinking Violet is just cracked in general, I would say. It halves the health of zombies in an area. And it also
it's in an area?
Yeah, it does it in a 3x3
area. It also instant kills
imps. It instant kills imps. And plus, unlike other plants that affect an area like a 3x3 with Cherry Bomb or such, it has a much faster recharge, so you can use it way more often.
Yeah, I'd say it's low B.
I say it's low A.
Okay. Now, finally, for the last one.
Electric Current. This one's very hard to utilize, and I won't even say he's worth doing.
What is electric?
Electric Current is the only reason to ever use Garlic or Sweet Potato, but they actually buffed him so that if a zombie takes a bite out of him, he shoots them into a different lane. That being said, I still don't think he's worth using, ever.
Okay. He creates electrical fences, once planted in a row.
Or column with another version of himself.
Are you kidding me?
Are you looking at pictures of him and you're like, wow, how the hell do you utilize this?
Wait. So he doesn't even cause a electrical current unless you place multiple ones.
Yes.
In the same row. That is so bad.
I agree. And it's hard to use too. I don't know. I'm giving him a D. Would that be fine?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's crap.
It's so hard to use.
And since this was pretty short, do you want to rank all the paid for plants too?
Oh, the what?
Paid for plants. So
how about we rank the world plants?
Isn't that all of them?
No, because remember, you unlock a lot. You unlock. Okay, let's look at this. Anyone who has this digital-looking background is not a world plant. Anyone who has like a tile from, let's say, Neon Mixtape Tour, Big Wave Beach or something, they are a world plant. See, there aren't that many world plants. You want to just rank them? What?
I still think paid for plants is a better thing to rank because it's way easier.
Look how many of them there are. Yeah, I mean, we can do that later if you want, though.
That's fair. I don't know.
Okay, how about we do world plants? Sure.
Sure.
Okay, AKEE.
Mediocre.
There is nothing to say about AKE, I'll be honest.
It's mediocre. Its best thing is that it hits multiple zombies, and by multiple I mean like 3.
Yeah, and so, okay, I'll be honest, Lost City is the most forgettable world in the game. It has really good music, but that's the only thing notable about it. AKEE and Red Stinger, while the thing with Lost City is a cool idea, that's it, it's a cool idea. It doesn't work in practice. And AKEE and Red Stinger, I would much rather just use Lightning Reed or Laser Beam to deal with hordes of zombies. That being said, making it so that you have to play the games in the world in a specific order, which is what they did, that makes it so that you can't just spam Laser Beam to get rid of the entire dynamic of Lost City, but you can still use Lightning Reed at that point, so it doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably a C. I wouldn't really... Maybe a B. It's not bad, but I wouldn't use it. It's heavily outclassed. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it there. Is that fine?
Yep.
Okay, Banana Launcher. I love this one. So, yes, he costs a shit ton of sun, but you can essentially launch him at any point on a tile, and he does massive damage there. So, basically...
Hee-hee-hee-ha.
So yeah, you have to touch activate. He's a plant that can hit anywhere, and he does a lot of damage there. I wouldn't say he's as good as Home Thistle, and I wouldn't. Not. I mean, he costs a lot of sun. I'd probably give him a high A or something.
Yeah,
not much more than Bloomerang, outclassed as hell. Like, what reason do you have to use Bloomerang at all? He does very low damage.
Trash, honestly. The only good part is that he can hit multiple enemies. He's like D.
Yeah, but as soon as you unlock something like AKEE, which is already very outclassed, Bloomerang is obsolete.
Yeah, honestly.
Blover, I would. Why? Why would you use Blover?
I don't know.
Flying zombies aren't that bad to deal with anyway. Just use regular attacking plants and you should be okay. Why would I use a slot on Blover?
I'd say F.
Yeah, honestly, he's very useless. Bonk Choi! Bonk Choi is a very powerful plant.
S.
Yeah, I think he's an S. He is outclassed by one plant that's already an S anyway, but Bonk Choi himself is broken. He does massive damage. He has a very short range, but he can attack backwards. And if you use a defensive plant, which I don't regularly use, but to be fair, if you upgrade Bonk Choi a few times, he shouldn't even need a defensive plant to guard him anyway. It's so good. Okay. Bowling Bulb. It's a very meh plant.
It's probably good exactly where you put it. It's actually pretty decent. It's pretty decent in terms of like
damage,
firepower,
usefulness,
and it looks pretty cool. But at the exact same point, it costs a fair amount of sun, and the recharge for the bulb is really stupid.
Yeah, and also the fact that he doesn't until you upgrade him, he only recharges the weakest bulb until there are no zombies in front of him.
Yep.
That being said, I do think he has one of the cooler designs in the game.
Yeah.
That doesn't save him from being not that good anyway. I will say Hypnoshroom probably has the coolest design.
No, look at the laser one. That looks cool. And okay. D at the end of D.
Cabbage.
No. B. Or not B. C or D. It's pretty trash.
Like, okay, here's the thing. In ancient Egypt and stuff, I guess it's okay to use him, but as soon Oh, I prefer pea shooters, repeater especially, and cabbage pult is essentially just a pea shooter that can shoot over things. So you might ask, why would I ever use pea shooter then when I have cabbage pult? Here's the thing: cabbage pult is not affected by torchwood.
Trash.
Yeah, he's not good. Even Bloomerang is more useful, honestly.
So, D.
Celery
No.
Stalker.
Goated.
I very much like Celery Stalker. I wouldn't say he's the most.
He's high B.
Yeah, he's very, very powerful. I mean, he is in fact the most fast attacking plant in the game.
Yeah, the only issue is that if there are any zombies
he's not good with crowds.
Behind the zombie he's going to attack, then he's dead.
Yeah, he's not good with crowds, but he is good at taking out singular targets.
Yeah, I mean, man only costs like 75.
50, actually.
50. They changed it.
Man costs 50 sun and has a fast recharge, so you really can't complain.
Pretty broken, honestly. Next one.
Shard Guard.
Bad.
Not good.
Bad. So
not
bad.
Good.
F.
Okay, here's the thing. A plant that pushes back zombies is good. I like Hurricane. In fact, I'd say he's one of my favorite plants. Shard Guard, however, is a defensive plant that has a lot of health, but he can only push back zombies a limited amount of times. And you might think, okay, how could you make him better than that? I say if you wanted to make Shard Guard an actually usable plant, make it so that he can do it an unlimited amount of times. He just has a cooldown. What do you think?
F.
Either way, I don't like using him, so I'm putting him low.
F. Yeah, that's good.
Cherry Bomb.
Mediocre.
He's better than Jalapeno, first of all. Blowing up an area is much more useful than blowing up a single.
Above Jalapeno B, but at the exact same point, his recharge is insanely slow.
Exactly. That is the main downside.
Just so you can kill a couple.
That is the main downside. And in fact, I'd say that the fact that Cherry Bomb's recharge is so slow is part of the reason why Shrinking Vine is so appealing. Okay, so Chili Bean. This is a very good one.
What do you mean?
No, I'm not putting him in B. I'm just putting him there as a placeholder until we find out.
Chili Bean is not a good player.
No, so here's the thing with Chili Bean, okay? Any zombie that eats will die when they eat. So I'd say Chili Bean is like Hypno Shroom but better because the zombie that eats him will stun every zombie behind it as well. Also, he costs much less sun.
Yeah. That's so mediocre.
I'm gonna give him an A, but I'm gonna give him a low A. Do you think that's fine?
Yeah.
Citron, awful. Awful.
I love Citron.
Yes, he does a lot of damage, but his recharge is
His recharge is so bad.
Sorry, he costs not his recharge, his firing rate is what I meant to say. He does a lot of damage, but he costs way too much sun for a plant that doesn't shoot that much to begin with. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's kind of like if Citron had a fast shoot rate, he would be absolutely good.
He'd be very good if he had a faster fire rate. So I think the way to fix Citron for the game creators, why am I telling these people how to design their game? Whatever. But I would say a way to do Citron better is to have it that a shot goes through a zombie and hits like 2 or 3 more afterward. That would be enough to make Citron considerable.
I'd say, yeah, that would probably do a good job. Anyway, next one.
Coconut Cane, awful. Very
Trash.
Bad.
Not as bad as that. Yep, that's a good place. He's only good for like gargantuans.
Okay, so you have to activate Coconut Cannon, but he can only shoot in one lane. And even then, he does massive damage to one zombie, but then does a little bit to the ones around him. Why? He costs 400 sun, and he has a very slow fire rate. There is nothing appealing about this. It's all unappealing. Oh my god. It's so bad. And they expect you to pay almost as much sun for Coconut Cannon as they do with Banana Launcher. But Coconut Cannon is awful. Very bad. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so then Duskwobber. Sorry, Duskwobber. So here's the thing about the shadow
I don't
plants.
even remember what it does.
The shadow plants, those are the ones you unlock in modern day, and they have a few extra ones you can unlock in other ways. But so, in regards to the shadow plants, I think that they're very strong. But like they were hard to utilize for a while, and they still are kind of hard to utilize. Nocturine makes them much, much better. But so Duskwobber on its own is weak. It costs 150 sun, and it shoots in one lane a projectile, which then explodes and then does a little bit of damage to the zombies around it. Okay?
Yeah.
But the thing about the shadow plants is they get boosted by other types of shadow plants, like Moonflower, Nocturine, or Concealment. So if you have one of those affecting the Duskwobber, he shoots in 3 lanes, and it's actually very good, but not like super good. I still think he deserves a B. Definitely better than AKE though. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then EM Peach. There aren't very many
I
situations.
gotta be honest, it's probably D because, well, almost every other plant can be used in multiple levels. EM Peach is really good for its
Far
specific...
Future. And he can
Far
actually
Future?
affect the bulls in Wild West as well, but...
Oh, well, but everywhere else he doesn't do anything.
Exactly. That being said, in the level where you're supposed to use him, he is good.
He's really useful. Which is why he's D, not F.
Yeah, I agree with you. Endurin. Why? We already have several defensive plants. Why would I specifically care about one that can deal damage to ones on the same tile as it, you know?
That's okay. That's like C.
I think C or D is where I should put it. Do you agree?
C.
Yeah, C. Okay. I'm putting it above Hypnoshrill. Fume Shrill. So Fume Shroom can hit all zombies in front of it, but not all zombies in front of it. All zombies within 4 tiles of it. So that is very good. And he has a low sun cost too, so that's pretty cool. I think he's good on his own. He's just outclassed by Laser Beam. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him a B. Is that fine?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I think that's where I should put him. Garlic F. Even more useless than honestly, he's just useless. There's no reason to use garlic. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Gold Leaf, also F. No reason to use her, I think it's a female. And you can only use her in Lost City too, which makes her even worse. Why would you limit a plant to one world if it has no reason to be limited to one world, you know?
Yeah.
We're kind of speedrunning this. Gravebuster. So Gravebuster is only useful in Dark Ages, but that being said, it's very useful in Dark Ages. I think I should put it right where EM Peach is for the same reasons. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Grimrose. It instantly kills 3 zombies if it's boosted. That's good. It's not specifically good, but it can instantly kill a few of them, and he has a cheat. He's cheat, so whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Guacodile. I don't like
So
Guacodile.
beautiful. I love Guacodile so much. Guacodile is so good.
So when Guacodile is harmed, he'll basically rush forward and attack all zombies in front of him, but he also just goes away when you do that. But without that, he's just a normal shooter. He's basically a pea shooter that costs slightly more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think wherever we put him, we'll just put him right next to the basic pea shooter. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, Hot Potato.
Trash. Put it the same place. It is literally only useful in a specific area.
Yeah, it's good for Frostbite games, but you can't even actually, you know what? I'm gonna give Hot Potato a B. Now listen, hear me out, okay? Hot Potato is good for 2 areas. Frostbite Caves and Big Wave Beach. In Frostbite Caves, it's very good because it's free. It has a relatively fast recharge. That's nice. If you upgrade it to level 5, you can actually use it in Big Wave Beach to get rid of the octopus from the octopus zombie. What?
Yeah, that's good.
Do you think that's a B worthy? I mean, to be fair, the Octo Zombie's... Yeah, the Octo Zombie's the worst zombie in the game, so being able to... Having anything that can counter it well is nice,
Yeah.
Iceberg Lettuce. Not very useful, I'll be honest. As in, he can freeze a zombie for a little bit, but... And he's free, so... That's nice, but... He only hits one zombie. I can't complain about Iceberg Lettuce, but there's not enough to say that's good about him either. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him next to Lava Guava. I say that they're like the Bug's Life of plants. Do you agree? Infinite. Infinite is bad on his own. Like he's a defensive plant with worse health. The only reason you ever use him is for plant food. Okay? Just face it, Infinite fans. And in fact, because of his usefulness in Big Wave Beach, though, against the Fisherman Zombie, don't mind me, I'm actually going to add an additional tier, and I'm just going to have it be for plants that are basically mandatory, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm putting Infinite there because of Big Wave Beach. So I guess with that, I'm also going to put Really Bad there. Intensive Carrot.
No.
Intensive Carrot is actually pretty useful if you like using expensive plants, like Wintermelon and such, which I do think is really good. Basically, his use is that if you lose your expensive plant, you can just use Intensive Carrot to get it back with much less of a cost.
Yeah. He's okay. He's like B.
I think a B is good. I'm gonna put him here. Is that fine?
Sure.
Okay. Colonel Polt. Honestly, I'm just gonna put him next to Cabbage Polt. Is that fine?
Yeah.
He's a weaker Cabbage Polt that sometimes stalls the zombies, so it's essentially equivalent. Laser Bean. Laser Bean is goated. Do you agree?
Laser Bean is rather goated.
I'd say
he's above the bean. He's above the
like these two beans are really good, which is funny because their brother beans are awful. I'm gonna put him there. Is that fine? So basically, yeah. Laser Bean, he hits every zombie in front of him. That's it. But it's
cracked.
Like you don't know how broken that is until you actually use him. Lightning Reed. Okay, so I say
not as
Lightning
good as Bong Choi. Not
Lightning,
as good as Bong Choi.
Lightning Reed is one of the best plants in the game, first of all. Now, he may be weak when you first get him, but after upgrading him, he becomes much more powerful. Either way, at any level, you can spam Lightning Reed, and it is an instant win because of the massive amounts of damage that several Lightning Reeds can accumulate together. Because of that, I would say Lightning Reed is definitely an S.
Not better than Bong Choi. Not better than Bong Choi. Bong Choi is good. Marigold.
Okay. Well, don't even place it. Marigold is only useful in the Zen Garden, so...
Don't even place it. It doesn't count. Put it in mandatory, if anything.
I'm just gonna give it its own tier, because you can't even use it in gameplay, you know?
Also, I'm pretty sure the next one we technically have to rank is, yeah, that one.
Magnet Shroom.
Nah, mediocre.
Magnet Shroom was broken in the first game, but not so much here. Like...
Tier F.
Like, here's the thing. In the first game, the reason why Magnet Shroom was so appealing in the first game was that, like, half the zombies used metal things, you know? But in this game, what? Bucket heads? And I guess against the punk zombies, that's it. That's all you're ever going to use them for. And I guess the knights, but, you know, it's... whatever. It's bland for this. I'm gonna give him an F, okay? Like a high F. Do you think that's okay?
Are you gonna put him in F?
I did. Do you agree with that placement?
Yep, it's good.
Okay, Melon Poles.
Pretty good, goated.
Melon Pulse is pretty good. He has high damage and can hit several zombies at once. He's pretty strong, but I wouldn't say he's better than Laser Beam. What about you?
Yeah, that's good.
I feel the same way. Okay. Well, did I just say that I felt the same way about my own explanation? That was stupid. F.
Trash.
You have to use Sun for every single attack. Awful. Why? Moonflower. Moonflower is the one that... Okay, so Moonflower is the one that boosts the other shadow.
Are you gonna put it in F? Sorry,
no.
One of my friends just sent me a video.
Okay.
I'll go on mute really quickly. Alright, it's done.
Okay, so yeah, Moonflower is the one that makes it so that's how you utilize the shadow plants. It also produces Sun, so it's okay.
Mediocre.
I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna put it just above Duskwalker because it's pretty much mandatory to use with the shadow plants. You know.
Put it in mandatory. Because
there's no point in the game where you actually have to use the shadow plants. It's mandatory for using the shadow plants, but it's not mandatory anywhere else. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, this is another shadow plant that is whatever. Like it's basically a slightly more powerful pea shooter if you're using it with Moonflower, but if you're not using it with Moonflower, it's awful. I'm gonna give it a C. You think that's fine?
The baby? Yeah, that's fine.
Peapod.
Wait a minute.
What?
Never mind. It's nothing.
Peapod. It's a more expensive pea shooter that you can place multiple times.
Yeah, but honestly, it's once you get up to full 5, it is absolutely decimated.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely broken when you get him to 5, but you do realize getting him up to 5 costs more than Banana Launcher. It's 625 Sun.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I would rather just use Repeater and be done. You know?
Yep.
Here, I'm putting him above Peanut, but that's it, okay? Basic pea shooter.
C.
Yeah, so I'm putting him right next to Crocodile. Okay?
Because he's not bad, but he's not good. He's definitely mediocre.
I mean, the whole point of pea shooter is for him to just be a basic plant. He's literally the first one you get in the entire game, so, you know.
Yeah.
Pepper Polt. Okay, so Pepper Polt, he warms the plants around him in Frostbite Caves and such. And he can attack in an area, as in whenever he lands, it hits the zombies around it. And he costs less than Melon Bolt, but his recharge is what makes him much, much worse. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I don't know. B maybe?
That's fair.
Yeah, I think low B. Above Bowling Ball, but not much further. Perfume Shroom. I think Perfume Shroom would count as a mandatory one. What about you?
Yeah.
So, essentially, you don't actually have to use it, but the dinosaurs in Jurassic Mars are such formidable obstacles that you pretty much have to get rid of them by using Perfume Shroom. And in fact, they help you afterwards, so that's nice too.
I think it's really funny that the dinosaurs are more of a hassle than the actual boss.
The dinosaurs are the reason why Frostbite Caves. The dinosaurs are the reason why Jurassic Marsh is as hard as it is. That's the reason why Jurassic Marsh has no actually interesting zombies. Because the dinosaurs are the main obstacles.
Yeah.
Fat Beat, garbage. Actually.
Honestly.
How are you even supposed to use him?
I don't know.
No, remember Gloom Shroom from the first game, who was really good? He did a lot of damage in an area around him. Fat Beat is Gloom Shroom, but what? He does no damage at all. You can't even notice.
Anyway, next one.
Potato
nothing
Mine.
Really...
What?
Do we really need to give explanations for a lot of these? Because they're kind of just like known to be trash.
Okay, so basic Potato Mine. I'm going to put him next to Squash, honestly. He's like Squash, but he only hits one tile. He does it once. He costs half as much as Squash, which is already not that much to begin with. But he has an arming time, which is his disadvantage. really the reason to use Squash or Potato Mine is to just use it so that you can place Sun Producers at the beginning of a level.
Yeah. Ha.
Primal Pea Shooter. He's okay.
He like really low B or high C.
Yeah, so Primal Pea Shooter is okay. He's not amazing or anything, but he does stall zombies and he does knock them backwards, which is very nice. Especially,
my poor computer.
Let me just say
Can
this.
you hear that?
No, I can't. Primal Pea Shooter works really well with Laser Beam because you have a guy knocking them back and a guy hitting all of them, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
This is arguable. You can argue that this is the best plant in the game, and I wouldn't be mad. I don't think he's the best, but he is very, very powerful. It's Potato Mine on crack. He has little to no arming time, and he explodes in the same area as a Cherry Bomb, but he stays there, similar to the normal Potato Mine. He stays there until a zombie steps on him. So you basically have Cherry Bombs that you can just place and wait for them to activate.
Yeah.
Because I think he's better than
Bong Choi goated.
Okay, anyway. Primal Sunflower. Honestly, I'm just gonna put Primal Sunflower next to wherever we put regular Sunflower, you know? Because they both do essentially the same thing. Just Primal Sunflower is on a larger scale, but with a larger cost. So I guess it pays off more in the long run. But, you know. I'd say Primal Sunflower is the better one of the two. What about you?
Yep.
Actually, because Sun Producers are pretty much mandatory, not completely mandatory because you can choose which one. I'm gonna give Primal Sunflower an A. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Red Stinger, right next to AKE. Literally same usefulness.
Yeah, they kind of do be trash.
Primal Walnut, very good as far as defensive plants go. He can block multiple heavy blows from like Gargantars and All-Stars and such. But he also has a very fast recharge anyway, so you can place a lot of them. I think an A.
Yeah.
Puff Shroom, bad. Like you can spam him, but there's not much else to that. Do you agree?
Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of his biggest thing. It's just spammer.
I mean, yeah, that was the usefulness for him in the first game. They just made him even worse in the second one because of the fact that he goes away after a certain amount of time. Repeater, better than Primal Pea Shooter. And honestly, I'd say that Repeater is probably the best Pea Shooter. He has twice the firepower of a regular Pea Shooter, but he only takes up one tile.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna give him a high B. Okay, sorry. I don't care for Rutabaga, I'll be honest. It shoots diagonally.
Rutabaga?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to utilize.
Or what the hell?
It shoots diagonally, and that's it, really. And it costs more than a Pea Shooter. I'm putting it in D. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I like the way it looks. It looks cool, but that's about it. Shadow Shroom. Shadow Shroom is kind of like Chili Bean in a way. Okay? But with Shadow Planes. So essentially, with Shadow Shroom, I'm gonna put him next to Chili Bean, okay? Shadow Shroom doesn't instant kill zombies, but he does damage them over time. And the thing that makes Shadow Shroom so good for that is if you give him with Moonflower, first of all, so if he's boosted with the Shadow abilities, the poison will spread among zombies. So first of all, that's great. Second of all, afterward, when they're poisoned, the armor that the zombies have does not matter. A Buckethead will die just as quickly as a regular zombie.
Yeah.
Snapdragon. It's not as good as Bong Choi. What?
Put in like high A.
Yeah, I think Snapdragon is good, but just use Bong Choi instead, honestly.
The only difference is that Bong Choi can't reach as far as
Snapdragon can hit in multiple lanes, but Bong Choi is more power. Spike Rock. It's nice passive damage, but not much more than that. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd say it's higher than Potato.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And Spikeweed does less damage but costs cheaper, so I'm just gonna put it right below Spike Rock. Is that fine?
Yep.
Split Pea. No. It's a worse Pea Shooter. And you know, and why would you ever use Split Pea when you have Homing Thistle?
Hey,
What?
if you have homing thistle.
Yeah, if you have homing thistle, why would you ever have any reason to use split bee? And bong choy can already hit from behind, so you don't even need homing thistle for that, you know?
Yeah.
Spore shroom, not good.
No.
Yeah, he's a very uninteresting plant. He creates more of himself, but even then, he's not useful to begin with. So why bother? You know, Spring Bean. I'm putting him with Gravebuster and Ian Peach because he's very, very good in Pirate Seas, but that's it. Do you agree?
Yeah, that's fine.
Stalia. I personally like Stalia, but I don't think he's useful. You know, he's just a stalling plant. I'm putting him right next to Iceberg Lettuce. Honestly, he doesn't freeze them, but he can make multiple zombies slower for a period of time. So whatever, you know.
Yeah, base.
Stunyon, right next. Yeah.
It's D. It's D.
Yeah,
Sunflower. Sun.
Sunshroom. Sunshroom is okay.
A.
Yeah, honestly, I prefer using Sunshroom
low
over Primal Sunflower.
The only reason it's not like S is because it doesn't start out big.
Well, I mean, that's the point. It eventually gets big, but it costs 25 suns, so it's cheap.
If it started out like the medium size and then grew to big,
so Sunshroom produces more sun over time, basically, and it's cheap. So just place a bunch of them, and eventually you'll have a lot of sun. The only problem is that at the beginning of the level, you won't have that much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sunbeam. Useless. Actually useless. Why?
Trash. It literally just gives you sun.
It makes a zombie produce sun when damaged, but even then, even when it does that, it's annoying to pick up the sun anyway. So whatever. Sunflower. It's worse than these two, so I'm gonna give it a B. Is that fine?
Yes.
Toadnut. He has twice as much health as a regular walnut, and nothing else of interest, so what? C probably.
Yeah. It's just literally just useful for flying zombies and that's garbage.
Yeah, and why can't the flying zombies just fly over him anyway? But
Next
regardless,
Tangle, it's needed. Just put it in the needed section because it's mandatory.
No, it's not mandatory.
It's literally mandatory.
It isn't.
It's so mandatory, but whatever. Whatever floats your boat.
It's
we don't
useless.
really need to talk about it.
It's a worse potato mine that even dies when
it's only good in water. Only good in water.
You know what?
Wait,
okay,
it can die?
I'm putting it next to them, okay?
I thought it was able to use it to like activate either way. It could die?
No, he dies when the tide goes down.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. He's kind of bad. That's why you just have to put him fairly high or fairly far off. Okay, Repeater, goated.
I liked Repeater.
A.
It takes up less space than than putting pea shooters in each lane.
That's honestly a really good place.
Repeater is very
it would be
spammable.
higher, but it costs 300.
Yeah, Repeater is spammable though if you get enough sun. But
you get 900 sun, put him in the middle 3 lanes, he's cracked.
That is very good. Just
all right.
I still think the best plant for spamming is lightning.
Yeah. Long choice, still good though.
Okay. Time Warp. This guy secretly works for the zombies. He literally heals them. You can only use him in one world anyway, so why bother? You know?
Yeah, he's kind of trash. Double Sunflower. Oh wait, no.
Tile Turret. He's okay.
He's
like
C.
Placing 2 or 3 tiles with him is fine, but afterwards it becomes too much to handle.
He goes up in sun, and the biggest issue is that it's a random tile that he puts down. So
no, he has his own unique tile. They're always the same type of tile. It's just annoying.
Oh, I thought it was a random one.
No, okay. They're always purple ones.
He's okay.
He's okay, but he's hard to utilize. Twin Sunflower. Worse. He costs more sun than it produces in each go. And you can't even use it at the beginning of a level, so it's bad. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it there, okay?
That's fine.
Walnut.
Trash.
I'm putting him right next to the other defensive plants. but I think he's the weakest of these three. So whatever, you know?
Yeah. I still don't understand defense.
Once again, why use a defensive plant when you go for a Gale? Okay, Wintermelon. We're ending off on a high note, I guess, because Wintermelon is very good.
High A.
Like, so he's not better than Laser Beam, but he stalls zombies, and he does the same damage as Melon Bolt. So essentially, yeah, very good.
Also,
I guess that's
plant field power
broken. Anyway, I think I think that's the end. We're done now.
Yep. All
See you guys later if we start to rank the rest of the plants.
Please, God, no.
I mean, it won't take that much longer, but we're not doing it right now. Anyway, bye.
Yep, see you.